Hello, and welcome to my playthrough of 312. 312 is unlike other maps Radiant Dawn in that units in the later half of Radiant Dawn that don't one round are liabilities, and in this case, I'm going to be using them to. This is a demonstration of a more Zyhark focused strategy. Is actually mostly based around Tyronio. Tyronio gets the second most kills on this map, followed by Zyhark, followed by Jill. Jill's role in this map is going to be killing two very, very annoying enemies, and then mostly playing support. So, Soth needs to get to the corner so he can shove the rock on the second turn. The other thing I'm going to have to do is shove Zyhark. So Zyhark is actually only shovable by 3 units in the Dawn Brigade. Well, 4, I guess, because he can also be shoved by Tyronio, which are Volug, Nolan, and Aaron. So all 3 of these units must shove him. However, Aaron gets into range of a specific enemy, and so we need Fiona to rescue him. Here, this warrior needs Jill with 16 strength so she can one-round him with the Brave Axe. And Zyhark needs 23 strength to one-round all the enemy halberdiers on this map. So Zyhark is going to be placed in a pretty precarious looking position. This positioning is actually intentional. If Zyhark had a support with Jill, it would be nice to activate it here. Unfortunately, due to the way memory editing works, I can't edit in supports. C support is actually really nice and fairly easy to obtain. You would have to get exactly one adjacent location for them, or you would have to have Zyhark. Yeah, you'd have to be adjacent for one turn, which is fairly easy in all the Dawn Brigade maps. So, with that, Zyhark would have us even less precarious than it looks enemy phase. So, Zyhark's chance of survival here is predicated on dodge tanking, which is fairly unreliable. However, due to true hit and resolve, is actually extremely reliable. I've run simulations which show that Zyhark has somewhere between a 1% chance of death and a 4% chance of death, depending on how aggressively I assume biorhythm. And that's pretty good. So Jill here actually does not have very good ability to one-round these enemies. She just needs to one-round that one random soldier, and then after that, she's not going to be killing very much on her own. Most of this combat is going to be done by Zyhark. So Zyhark got kind of unlucky and took a hit from a halberdier. Those halberdiers have a 31% chance of hitting him before resolve. However, after resolve, they have a 1.3% chance of hitting him. Roughly. Obviously, with biorhythm, it can go up to 2% or all the way down to 0%, depending on exactly what happens. Again, this looks a lot sketchier than he might look, especially when I don't have Jill Zyhark support, which would increase Zyhark's avoid by 10. And 10 doesn't sound like a lot of avoid, but the difference between 8 displayed hit and 0 displayed hit is kind of massive. So the other thing to note about this positioning is Tyronio. Tyronio needs a Speedwing and a Master Crown in order to one-round this large wave of incoming enemies. Without that, he will not have 24 speed, which is the magic speed benchmark needed to double and one-round all of these guys. This is actually the only map in which Speedwing Master Crown Tyronio does anything. So it might be worth considering not giving Tyronio a Speedwing or a Master Crown if you could find some other map in which you want it more. Like maybe Titania could use it, in which case you would have to do like a 3-turn with Zyhark, where Zyhark moves forward more into the enemy lines. The Silver Blade is the most useful weapon for Zhark to use because it has the highest might and is relatively cheap. You get a lot of money on this map in particular, and so Zhark will needs to use a weapon that he can just buy on this map. The weapons that have the highest might and other factors are the Killing Edge, the Silver Sword, and the Silver Blade. The Killing Edge has 30 critical, but only 8 might. That makes it not an ideal candidate, since a lot of the time critical hitting killing somebody with a Killing Edge requires the same strength benchmark as double hitting someone. You might think that the hit is a little bit of a problem with the Silver Blade, since it only has 60 hit, but Zhark has 32 skill, so even though the Silver Blade itself does not have very good hit, Zhark has really good hit. Zhark also has a very easy to manipulate biorhythm relative to other player units, because on 3-7 he can be killed as early as possible. Turn 2 is ideal if you maintain good LTC pace. This means that he will be on best biorhythm starting on 3-12, and then in 3-13 he will be in best biorhythm, and then in part 4 he'll be on worst biorhythm and mostly useless. But people don't like Zhark in part 4 anyway, so this is the other really annoying enemy I needed Jill to kill, which is the random sniper. It's one of the 2 reasons why I needed Jill on this map. Micaiah can use Physic on Jill. If Micaiah doesn't have enough staff range, what you can do is you can do the thing I do here, which is have her get rescued by Volag. This will protect Micaiah from danger. Jill's positioning is set so that she can fight all of the halberdiers and soldiers, but be able to avoid fighting one of the generals. This is nice because the general actually kicks kind of a lot of butt. Zhark's positioning is set so that he'll fight 8 to 10 enemies on enemy phase, depending on how missing goes. He, again, has a sub 5% chance of death in spite of facing multiple enemies, which as a sum will 3-shot him because of the way True Hit works, especially with the way True Hit works with Resolve. Zhark without Resolve would have had somewhere in the neighborhood of a 30% chance of death, but with Resolve it gets way, way, way down. So this enemy phase here is just most of the same. There is one enemy which is a halberdier that is a level 11, which moving Zhark over to the left baited. That level 11 halberdier would otherwise have gone into Taronio's area, and that level 11 halberdier would have can't be doubled by Speedwing Master Crown Taronio, and so that halberdier would have prevented me from two-turning the map. So Zhark actually gets hit by a displayed 20 hit attack, which is kind of funny. Now, there is one general in this area, this one, which cannot be one-rounded naturally. So I need either a critical hit, an adept proc, or an astro proc to kill him, one-round him unnaturally. So the probability that you get one of those things to occur is 91%. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but having one unreliable kill is reasonable. So onto these enemies. Taronio equips a Silver Lance, which has the highest hit of weapons that would give Taronio 39 attack. You could also buy him a Silver Lance in the 1E shop, but I don't like doing that for the simple reason that the 1E shop money is kind of tight, whereas on this map 312 you get a base conversation which gives you a lot of money, and so I want to, whenever possible, use money from this map to help myself in this map rather than trying to use money in other maps. That doesn't work so well with Jill. Jill used a silver axe in this map, but in a more normal playthrough, I'd actually recommend using a forged steel axe because Jill's hit rates are kind of booty. And a forged steel axe would also give her more might than a silver axe. So this is the warrior. This guy prevents you from doing. And then there are a few calves, a warrior, and a warrior, which are the final enemies which Z-Hark would have to kill, depending on how well lucky you get with previous combats. All right, so that's 312 completed in 2 turns. I'll see you guys next time for 313.